Okay, everybody, it says I'm live. Let me know if I'm live. Boy, we're getting some old problems that we used to have on the low budget live stream. Um, Let me know what you guys are seeing. Oh, hey, I'm looking at myself backwards. That's gonna be fun. If you're in the chat or if this is working, or let me know if it's lagging. Just let me know if you can hear me, everything. Definitely let me know how it's looking, sounding. I'm using the new YouTube studio, using it under Google, so hopefully everything will work. Maybe they don't want people using OBS anymore. A lot can happen in 2 weeks. And yeah, I'm already looking at myself backwards, so this is going to be annoying. Because if I raise this hand, it's right in front of me here when it should be over there. And I'm looking at my set backwards, and everything looks weird to me. Um, so anyway, this is a low budget live stream. Let me know if you're in the audience. Yeah, hopefully everything should be good. Using their studio, using my camera, using Google. Bow down, bow down. You know, bow down to Google tonight, I guess. Um, but yeah, definitely let me know how everything's looking, sounding, since we're doing it yet another new way. As always, this low budget live stream. I'm your host, hopefully for a while. Gino Reynolds, the real Gino. Um, as always, it's ask me anything, within reason, of course. After what we had happen last time, I got to be a little more careful, because I don't want this live stream to become one of those live streams. We know you guys know what this live stream is about. But yeah, definitely keep throwing chats up so that way I know it's working. Definitely get your questions, comments, stories, whatever you want to talk about tonight. Um, Hopefully, again, everything's good. I can't tell on my end, so I don't have something. All I have is something that says I'm live and 6 people are watching. Okay, a new comment popped up, so I'm happy to see that. Definitely keep the chat coming in because it's different than the OBS setup. Because the OBS setup, I can really tell that people are still there and everything, and this one gives me no real indication. So I'm going to be afraid I'm talking to nobody. The fears of this, being a YouTuber, I guess. So today I wanted to talk about fandom, but definitely get your questions and comments, and I want to talk about that stuff too. Um, with a Star Wars movie coming out, and by the way, most of you that are here have probably already seen it. My review, my very as spoiler free as possible review of Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker is up. Definitely check that out if you haven't. Share it. I want to get it out there that it's out there. I woke up at about 1:30 in the morning just so I could I could put it up right when I could put it up. I was able the embargo ended at 2:01 uh 2:01 a.m. Central Time. So I was up then. I've been on vacation since Friday. I always take vacation for big movies like Star Wars. So uh I I was up. I made sure it got up at 2:01, and I was thrilled when it went up. And then I couldn't get back to sleep, and I stayed up until The Mandalorian came on and watched it. So, and that review's up too for episode 7. So I'm sure some of you want to talk about that. But yeah, I do want to talk about fandoms and uh and don't worry, and by the way, don't ask about Star Wars spoilers. I ain't saying anything that I haven't already said, um because I want people to make up their own minds. I probably will do a spoiler video if I have time, that might come out this weekend, but I still got a busy weekend. I mean, come on. I mean, I know a Star Wars movie came out this or is coming out this weekend, but so does Cats. Okay. I know everyone's looking forward to Cats. So yeah, I got that this weekend. I got Bombshell this weekend. I want to watch Six Underground on Netflix. I want to watch Marriage Story definitely, before the year's out, so it can be in the Opie Awards list is coming together. so I want to get everything in. Um, so there's a lot I've got going on. So if I don't do a spoiler video, I'll maybe talk spoilers on the next low budget live stream, which will be on New Year's Day. I still plan on doing one on New Year's Day, as far as I know. I don't know if my work schedule is going to change or anything, but I do plan on doing one on New Year's Day, which is a Wednesday. And also, this is our Christmas show. So if you have anything you want to talk about Christmas or whatever, this is the show to do it. So I'm going to go through I'm going to go through the chat here, and then I'm going to talk about fandoms a little bit. Let's see. Daniel says I may be a little late. I'm eating Chick-fil-A, so I may be back in 30 minutes. You know, can I say this about Chick-fil-A? What's the big deal? I don't think it's that good. Maybe it's just my experiences there. It was fine, but they won't even customize your sandwich for you, and that drove me nuts. I asked them if they could put mayonnaise on my sandwich. Oh no, we can't do that. We can give you a cup of mayonnaise. It's like, dude, I'm going to be eating it in the car, you know. And they because I think they have them pre-made. They're in the bags. They're always soggy. I don't know what the deal is, but anyway. So Daniel will be joining us later. Desiree says, getting flashbacks. Yeah, me too. Let's try it 14 times to see if it works. I had a feeling I was going to. YouTube has been talking about use our new this, use our new that. And it's like, I wonder if I'm going to have issues with OBS eventually. And sure enough, today we're having issues. I've never seen that red light pop up on OBS. That scared me a little bit. So yeah, I tried it on OBS like 2-3 times, and then again, I'm using the YouTube webcam studio now, like old times. So hopefully it works for us well. Let's see. Bryce says the video quality is better. Should be. We're connecting. I also restarted my computer too. So Desiree says, just call if you can hear me. Is anyone there? Bill says the plot twist in The Mandalorian is that Mando is force projecting a hallucination of Baby Yoda because of all of his Mandalorians. Mandalorian. So do we really have to bring that back? I do have to. I've come up with a theory of how the Mandalorian's going to end. I don't know how many seasons or whatever, but I do feel for those of you that have watched the show, there was an episode where he was on like a peaceful planet. I can't remember which episode it was. It was like maybe 3 or 4. It's the one where we meet Gina Carano's character for the first time, and he ends up on this peaceful planet, and he could have settled down there with the lady that was there and everything. It kind of felt like an episode felt like a version of Shane, or what was the other movie? Was it The Magnificent Seven? Where it's kind of defend the town kind of movie. I have a feeling that that's how the series is going to end. He's going to go there, settle down, and take off his mask. That's going to be like the last thing we see, I think, when he finally decides to stop. I don't know if Baby Yoda is going to be with us when I say with us, I'm not saying Baby Yoda is going to die. I think Baby Yoda is going to be leaving the series after the second season, I think. Because if like Ahsoka Tano shows up, I could see her taking the baby, and then they get their own live action show. So I want to see that show, a live action continuation of Rebels, the search for Ezra kind of stuff. Let's see. Bryce says the color was off in the others, and I'm glad you look super pale in the. Not sure what that means. Oh, in the other streams. Okay. Again, it could just be now YouTube wants us to use this setup, which, hey, if they want me to use it and it works, I'll use it, I guess. This isn't a fancy setup. That's why it's called the Low Budget Livestream. That, and it kind of has the take on movies kind of being low budget. But anyway, Paul says, hi, Gino, was watching Tom and Jerry while you was offline. Well, that's a good replacement. Bill says, oh God, I liked when Chewie became king of the Porgs and thousands of Porgs formed a gigantic Voltron around him. Yep, you got it. That's a spoiler for the new movie. Um, what was it? Was it Gravity Falls that the gnomes did that? They become like one big gnome um, to take on the good guys in that show. Um, Desiree says, so Drain got up early because attorney set appointment at chiropractor way too dang early. And then Ma decided to go Christmas shopping after. Didn't eat breaking till 2 p.m. Long day. I'm glad you're home now. You're not at work, right? All right, Desiree. Just hope you're not at work. And how are you feeling, by the way, after what happened? I haven't had a chance to ask you about that. Bamani Kernizan says, evening all evening. Paul says, did I like the Quiet Place 2 trailer? Oddly enough, I didn't press play to see it. I let the preview go. I was just doing other things and I let the preview go. So there was no sound. I liked what I saw. It looked like it's like it's continuing. It's not like I was afraid they were going to go backwards. I didn't want them to go do a prequel. So it looks like they're moving forward with the story. So I like that. So what little bit I've seen, I liked it. And before anyone asks, I have not seen the Top Gun trailer. So I am looking forward to watching. I forgot to watch it again. I've just been swamped all, just because I'm on vacation doesn't mean there's anything to do. Let's see. Where was I? Here we go. Desiree says Cats is sitting at a pretty 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. Is it bad? I'm eager for it to be so bad it's good, like the baffling WTF that makes your brain twitch and you can't process what's going on. I'm going into it really cold because I knew Cats was a stage play. That's all I knew about it. I've seen pictures and little clips here and there years ago from the play. But yeah, it's I don't know. I hope it's entertaining. I really do. But man, both trailers did nothing but creep me out. So am I going to be able to get past? Is it going to be better than the trailers? I hope so. I really do. I hate going to a movie I know is going to be bad. I mean, it can be fun, but also it can just be a slog too. I mean, maybe the music will be good. I mean, how many musicians are in that movie? I mean, hopefully it'll be good. Yeah, I mean, I don't really totally judge a movie before I see it, but this one has not, they've done nothing to get me excited at all. I mean, the look, the feel, the what little music we get. I mean, it is a musical, right? And apparently only one song has come out from it. You would think they would push the songs, but maybe they just want everyone to get the experience. I don't know. But anything I've seen, nothing has told me I'm gonna like it, but never know. Weirder things have happened, like the Cats movie. Oh, I'm kidding. Bamani says the Seventh Samurai episode was the third one. Thank you. Yeah, it was. Oh, and yeah, it's definitely Seven Samurai as well. Yeah, it was kind of for me, it was a mixture of like Magnificent Seven, Shane, and Seven Samurai. I know Seven Samurai and Magnificent Seven are kind of parallel, but yeah, I also got nodes of Shane in there as well. I like the movie Shane, is why I think it stuck out to me. Bill says Chick-fil-A won't customize your sandwich because they hate anything that deviates from the norm. Let's see. Bill says thoughts on the new Ghostbusters trailer. I liked it. I know everyone's saying it looks just like the Force Awakens trailer. It's trying to do kind of what the Force Awakens did. It's get you reinvested in an old franchise. So they're kind of trying to do the same thing. It's like, well, there are connections to the old stuff. They don't show you any of the old stuff. I mean, at least the trailer for Force Awakens showed Han, and Chewie. So, yeah, it's just trying to get you reinvested in Ghostbusters. Plus, they're like The Force Awakens is trying to get you to forget other things too. Whereas in The Force Awakens, trying to get you to forget the prequels, and the new Ghostbusters trailers trying to get you to forget the last Ghostbusters movie, the one from a few years ago. Um, Paul says, "Can't wait to see your review on The Grudge." For see it, here's an interesting thing, and some of you might be surprised by this. I have never seen any of the Grudge movies, so I'm excited because I'm going into it knowing nothing. I know bits and pieces of what it is, but not enough to make any judgment calls before I go see it. So I'm really curious because I know a lot of people have seen the others, so uh, they have preconceived notions. I have none. Same with Cats. I don't have any preconceived notions other than the trailers I've seen. So I'm really curious about that one. Bryce says Kumail Nanjiani is ripped. Yeah, I saw that picture. It's like, and just like everyone, just a quick glance, I thought it was Photoshop at first. Um, but yeah, man, because of whichever, what is it? Which he's in a Marvel movie, right? I think. Um, so yeah, he's that was insane. Seeing it, it's like it's still hard to believe that was him. But anyway, yeah, I saw that picture. I was like, wow, this is far from the Stuber guy. You know, Desiree says, still hurting. Cold ain't helping. Yeah, I imagine that. I know when my gets cold, my knees hate me. Um, have physical therapy next week and then some magic shot on the second. That's supposed to relieve the muscle tension around my neck, shoulders. Well, hopefully you'll get better soon. That sucks what happened, but you know, hopefully you get better quicker. Um, I've been thinking about you, so hopefully you're doing okay. Um, Bryson says, after seeing The Grudge, see Ju-on, is it Ju-on? I never liked the American remakes. That's what a lot of people say, is that the American remakes are nowhere near the original. Um, so yeah, I'll definitely have to check those out when I get a chance. The problem is Hollywood moves on, and I have to as well. And that's actually going to kind of play into the fandom stuff I want to talk about today. Desiree says, I think it's smart. The new Ghostbusters seems to be leaning toward a more serious take. They know they can't match the original's comedy, so seem to be reining in the jokes. But yeah, yeah, Paul Rudd's gonna get funny, I'm sure. But I imagine a lot of the humor is gonna come from the people that are coming back, the originals, I imagine. So I mean, it is pretty smart that they're trying to make it look. I mean, you gotta remember, yeah, the first one was funny, but it was also kind of creepy, and the second one was more funny than creepy. They're definitely probably trying to go for the tone of the first one. Bryce Combat just finished filming, and I completely missed it. Was even being made. Yeah, I knew they were working on it. I didn't know it just finished though. I'm curious what they're gonna do with that. Um, Hopefully they'll be able to go rated R this time. I mean, I like the original Mortal Kombat. I hate the sequel, but watch the sequel again, or don't watch clips of it on YouTube instead, where like the green screen is really bad. You can see like parts of the people clipping out on some of the battle scenes at the first of the movie. Um, Paul says, "Have not seen your Rise of Skywalker review yet. Is it a long movie? Um, it's about 2.5. It's about I think it's about the length of the others. It didn't feel long. There was a lot going on during it. Um, I feel, and I said this in the review, I feel like a lot of the stuff that was happening in this movie should have happened in the second one, in episode 8. That was a kind of a big gripe of mine because then other things got forgotten, and I mentioned it in the review. I want to be careful talking about Rise of Skywalker because always there's probably a rabid mouse in this room somewhere just waiting for me to screw up, say the wrong thing, and then I can get in trouble and lose my privileges, and I don't want to lose my privileges. Um, but yeah, it didn't feel any longer or shorter than the last two. Um, Desiree says, Important Mortal Kombat question: will it feature the Joker versus Freddy Krueger and Quiet Minds? Want to know? It should, but it won't, unfortunately. I'm sure. Uh, Warner Brothers don't want to give up the movie rights to the Joker. I'm sure. Freddy Krueger, on the other hand, they ain't doing much with him right now. TJ, uh, is it Disastron? Hi, 2:36 a.m. and I'm in a live stream. Well, welcome. We try to do this every other Wednesday. Almost didn't happen today because things weren't working. But hey, we're up and running as far as I know. So let's just welcome to the live stream. We try to have a good time here. Just talk about whatever we want. We try to we try to be cool here. I always just say that. But this isn't a live stream for, someone tried to bring politics into it last time, and I had to drop the ban hammer for the first time, and I hated the fact that I had to do that. But yeah, welcome to the live stream. TJ says, actually watched your Rise of Skywalker review before watching the movie earlier today. I pretty much agree with what you said about it. I appreciate that. If you haven't watched my stuff before, and a lot of you know this already, I try to find the good and bad in every movie. I can't be the type of reviewer, and again, this kind of plays into the fandom stuff I want to talk about too. I can't be one of those critics that are, I hate it or I love it. I mean, granted, there are movies that are so good, it's like it's hard for me to find bad stuff about it, or there's bad movies where it's hard for me to find good stuff about it, but I try. I really do try to find the good and the bad and the bad and the good. So welcome, TJ. I'm glad you joined us. And I'm glad you got to see the movie. Definitely keep the spoilers out of the chat. I'd appreciate it. Because I want people to experience it for themselves and make up their own minds. Let's see. Desiree said, Mads Mikkelsen won best performance for his character Cliff Unger in Death Stranding. That's awesome. Dude deserves more praise than he gets. I'm hoping to see him in a lot more next year. He's definitely an actor that needs to be working more. I'm sure he works a lot, but I mean, I want to see him get a push. He's just one of those actors that even in bad movies, he's really good. All right, I want to talk a little bit about fandom, and this isn't going to be me ripping on fandom. It's just with a Star Wars movie coming out, we're going to start seeing some ugliness. I mean, we saw it with The Force Awakens. We saw it with The Last Jedi. We're going to see it here too, I'm sure. And look, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of a lot of things. I'm a fan of things that aren't movies. I'm a fan of certain shows, and I'm a fan of certain this and certain that. We can be fans, and I'm happy that there are a lot of fans out there, but I'm in this weird position where I'm trying to show all sides of things, especially movies and shows that I watch and review. I feel that at times I have to push my fandom aside because I'm afraid that if I don't, I'm not going to be objective. And that's my problem with fandom a little bit, is that you have, and I'm not saying this is everybody, because there's plenty of fans out there that do see the good and bad and the stuff they like. And they only want to see it made better or something like that. But then I'm just talking about the fandom that what's the best way to put it? They want it the way they want it, and that's it. I can't be that kind of fan anyway, and being a critic, I can't do that either. I do like to use my fandom in some of the reviews I do, because I know certain characters or I know certain stories or whatever that they've used to tell a story. But especially like Marvel movies or something like that, I like to compare, okay, this is what Spider-Man is in the comics and this is what he is in the movies and things like that. But I just, especially when a movie like Star Wars comes out, you start to see the ugliness of fandom. You see the goodness too, because I mean, again, like TJ shows up and says, "Hey, I saw what you said, and I pretty much agree with you." And TJ seems like the type of person that if he didn't agree with me, I don't think he'd be angry about it. Um, it's because we're just throwing opinions out there, and that's what I want this channel to be, and that's what I want like this live stream to be. Is we throw our opinions out there and we talk about it and have a good time talking about it. But you go on something like Twitter and toxic land Twitter, and even if you say something that's thoughtful and you say something that has a lot behind it, uh, people will still, call you out. They'll still say, uh, "Well, I don't like it because," and there's no like real thought behind it. Sometimes there's no winning, I guess, or there's no compromise, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And um, I just that's why it's hard for me to do this sometimes because I mean, though most people are cool with me, and especially a lot of you that show up here have been amazing to talk to. It's just there. I know there's people out there that are just waiting to jump in and say, you know, well, your opinion sucks. Your opinion doesn't matter. Your opinion is wrong. The opinion is wrong thing drives me a little nutty because it's an opinion. And again, I try to find the good and bad and everything. But if I mean, on both sides for The Last Jedi, for example, it was, um, there was some that loved it and there was some that hated it, and it's just like, uh, whenever you have a Christopher Nolan movie, like everyone that, I mean, it's hard to defend, The Dark Knight Rises. There's things I do like about The Dark Knight Rises, but man, there's a lot of dumb in that movie. But there was people saying it was a perfect movie, it was a perfect conclusion, and there was nothing wrong with it. And then if you point out some things like, look, this didn't work, well, it still worked. Your opinion's wrong. I got that whenever I reviewed that movie. Um, and I hated dealing with that because it's like, what do you say? There's nothing I could say. No one's, you want to listen to them, but they don't want to listen to you. Um, but I'm just at this point where, see, when I started off as a critic, and some of you have heard this and some of you haven't. When I started off as a critic, I started off as, well, this movie sucks, right? Because I didn't know any better. But as I went along, I learned quickly first that you can't do that and be and be a good critic. And I'm not saying I'm this amazing critic, but I learn every day. I try to I try to see new things and I try to uh, learn new things about what movies are trying to do and the stories are trying to tell. So it's just there's I can't be that even though I am a fan, I have to turn my fandom off somewhat when I review a movie of a franchise I like a Star Wars or a Marvel or even a DC. I know they haven't had the strongest movies, but back in the day they did. They had some really strong ones. And I had to turn, my fandom off if I go back and watch one. Because then, I mean, I've looked at movies that I hated back when they came out years ago before I was a critic, and I went back and it's like, well, I kind of like this now, because I appreciated some of the things I saw that I didn't see back then, and that's why, I try. I can't just be on Twitter reading stuff. It plays into the whole drama thing, and look, I know some people that I can appreciate their reasons for not wanting to see certain movies or whatever, and that's fine with me. But for me, as I've said before, I have to take Hollywood how it gives it to me. And if this is what Hollywood has given to me, this is the job I'm going to do. And I'm at this point in my life where, I seen someone tweeting about, I haven't seen any of it yet, but I seen someone tweeting about the Crisis on Infinite Earths thing they're doing with with Flash and Green Arrow shows and all that. And I saw one that was defending every single good and or bad thing, saying it was amazing, it was perfect, and F you if you tell me I'm wrong. What kind of critique is that? I just can't play that game. It's like, oh, a you don't want to have a discussion. You just want to rant and say you're right and I'm wrong, and you want to feel superior. And I'm not going to get into that discussion with people. You know what I mean? It's I just can't do that. And I and then there's some that will down a movie and they haven't even seen it. Um, Now they can have an opinion about why they don't want to see it, and that's fine. But if you tell me a movie sucks and you haven't seen it, well, I can't talk to you about it because you have to have seen it, and we can have a good discussion. Um, and I can't. I know I'm rambling a little bit here. It's just I was thinking about that on the way home whenever because I drove home from St. Louis yesterday, and when I got home, I came downstairs in front of this computer and gathered my thoughts, made notes for a talking movies for the first time in a long time because I didn't want to miss anything about Star Wars, and I didn't want to accidentally reveal something I shouldn't and get in trouble. Again, rabid mouse hiding in here somewhere. Um, but on the way home, I was also thinking, it's like, I know I know what I'm going to start seeing, and whenever I started looking at thumbnails for some of the reviews that were coming out, it there's some saying worst Star Wars movie ever. Not true. And who knows if they even saw it. You know what I mean? Because I know that the plot got leaked. There's plot points they're out there because I started researching it when I got home, seeing what had gotten leaked, and there's some stuff out there that is right. And there was actually someone that had, I don't know how they did it, but they had screenshots. It would look like an angled cell phone shot of a screen, but they had screenshots that showed like the end of the movie. I was like, whoa, that's like one of the last shots of the movie. It's like, how did you get that? Um, but anyway, yeah, I'm just at this point in my life. I can't get mad about it. How can people look? I'm a fan of these things, but I just can't get mad about it. I got too many real problems to get mad. Now, I could understand if someone created a character and then, the character wasn't used very well in a movie or something and they were a little upset about that. I understand that. Um but just as someone that is on the outside looking in, that's a critic, I'm gonna take Hollywood how it gives it to me. Am I always happy about it? No, but am I gonna? I mean, I go fake rage on Real Rant every now and then, and I try to just be funny about it. But am I really mad? No, I just even the things I love, Star Wars, Marvel, stuff like that. If there's a bad one, it just doesn't make me mad anymore. And I mean, part of me kind of misses getting upset about that. But then again, I'm just getting to that age, I guess. I'm not exactly young. Um, I'm just at that point in my life where it's like, well, what's the point of me getting mad about it? Um, I don't have 1 million subscribers. I don't have 10 million subscribers. Even if I did, would it matter? Um, so I just wanted to let you guys know out there that this is for me. Look, if you have passion for a project and you get upset that something isn't done in a way you like, that's fine. But I'm not going to be one of those guys that can discuss it. If you want to, again, have a good discussion about what you didn't like, that's fine. But when someone comes to me and it's just like, I hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, whether they, and then they're not even trying to look for something they like or didn't like or whatever, I just can't have those discussions anymore. I've had a few and there's no, I guess, no point. I'm always curious about what someone did like or didn't like about something or why they don't want to see something. Um, but again, there's people out there that I've seen on Twitter and stuff that'll say, you know, this movie sucks, whether they saw it or not. They may think it does, and that's their opinion, but there's some that are so matter of fact. And then even if they see it and they don't even try to look for anything good, they want to go in and hating it. Um, I don't know. It's just getting to me, I guess. And I'm trying to just do my thing, I guess. Again, I'm rambling here. Uh, so I'm gonna go back to the chat so I can I can get some excuse me. I get some form of sanity back. Let's see. Where was I? Oh, here we go. Desiree says, I want Mads Mikkelsen to be in more things so I could have more Funko Pops of him. I have him as Lashif from James Bond movie. I can never say that name. Caecilius from Doctor Strange, and Galen Erso from Rogue One. I'm missing him as Hannibal Lecter. It's like $50 right now. It's no surprise. Bryson says, I understand what you mean. The fandom menace, as they are called. I think they want Rise to fail. I don't get how a fan would want failure. Exactly. I always wanted them to right the ship after the prequels. And really, we had this. I remember seeing the prequels in the theater, and you wanted to love them. I mean, and then over time, you're just like, you find reason to dislike them. But now I've gone back to certain things and said, well, I like this, but don't like this. And then some things got righted, like Darth Maul got righted, through the cartoons. So it's, I don't know. I mean, maybe they just don't like what it's become. And so that's why they want it to fail. I don't know. I see right now. I mean, a lot of people want Rise of Skywalker to fail. And I have a feeling that it's going to be one of those Rotten Tomatoes where it's rotten on critic side, and I think fans are going to like it. Is it perfect? Is it a perfect movie? No, definitely not. And again, if you saw my review, you saw there was a lot of stuff I wasn't a real big fan of, but there is a lot of positives in it as well. I have a feeling though that a lot of people are going to be somewhat satisfied. Again, but I won't ever call it a perfect conclusion to that saga, and parts of it did fail for me, but also parts of it really succeeded for me. So anyway, let's see. Paul says, do you think Venom 2 is getting an R rating? Will it help at the box office? Did it get an official R rating? That really surprised me if it got an official R rating, because especially since they're talking about bringing Spider-Man into it. If it gets an R rating, they'll get to have some fun with it. But if it gets an R rating, I don't see Spider-Man showing up. Then again, I've been wrong. I've been wrong before. Desiree says, people got to get that nothing is perfect. I wasn't a fan of Last Jedi, but I say what I liked and still going to see the new one in theaters because I love Star Wars as a whole. Exactly. It's look, I understand if people don't want to go see it, especially after The Last Jedi, because Last Jedi definitely divided a fan base because it wasn't everything one side wanted, and it was so different, and that's what another side wanted. I tried to, when I walked out of The Last Jedi, I saw it, I don't know, like 3 or 4 days before it came out. And I walked out of it, and the representative that was there for the studio said, well, what'd you think? What'd you think? And I was just like, I don't know. And I think he was confused that I wasn't going, yay! Because I was just so confused about some of the stuff I seen, and there was things, and going back and watching it on Monday, I was like, well, okay, I like this a little better, and I didn't like this as much, but I was still kind of where I was. It's like, well, this is the strong part, this is the weaker part. And I felt like this, and this should have gotten more time. This should have been introduced, especially since it was like the Knights of Ren, especially should have been in that second movie, most definitely. But yeah, I just can't look at movies like there isn't two sides anymore, and a gray area in the middle. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I think especially I'm glad that something like The Mandalorian's out there, which, by the way, that's dividing a fan base too. I love The Mandalorian so far, but I've seen some out there that are like, well, it's doing nothing right. It's like, okay. And I find stuff I don't like about the Mandalorian, but as a whole, I'm enjoying it. Um, let's see. TJ says everyone has his or her own opinion about movies, anyways. It's a matter of taste, and not many people have the same taste. That's totally fine. Exactly. There's movies out there that are the dumbest movies in the world, and I love them. UHF. And yeah, I know. I mean, it has definitely like a fan following. If you love Weird Al, you're going to love that movie. It's a dumb movie. It is. It is so dumb, but I love every second of it. There's some movies that I love that people would be like, is the worst. And there's some movies that I don't like, and people say it's the most amazing thing in the world. And that's okay with me, especially. That's what I want this channel to be about. If you I love seeing people's passion for a movie that like real passion. I don't just mean going, I don't mean them saying that you're stupid and it's a good movie. No, no, that's not passion I'm talking about. The passion that I love about someone that say I don't like a movie, say, I don't know, a Medea movie, right? There's a couple that I enjoyed, but most of them I am not a fan of, especially like the Halloween ones. I love it when someone comes to me with real passion about that and says, well, this is why I love it. I love listening to that. I may not agree with it, but I love listening to it because just like I would go to someone with passion for, say, a UHF, and they think I'm a moron for thinking that, I want someone to bring that passion to me for me to go, hey, that's cool. I'm glad you see that. And then I still don't agree with you, but hey, I'm glad you love it. I love it when someone loves a movie I don't like. I'm just at that point where I want people to just bring that to me. If I say I don't like something, they go, well, I love it because cool. I love hearing that. I love hearing that from people. Um, Rob from Smirking Gun Reviews says, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to Rob's channel, please do so. He watches a lot of the shows and will cover a lot of the shows and has a lot of in-depth reviews. And I believe you're doing your live streams it's Friday, right? I know you did your first one not like last week. Definitely check those out. Says, yeah, Bryson, the fandom menace are actually profiting off their negativity. I try to tell people that you need to make up your own mind. Exactly. Bryce says, I didn't care for Last Jedi, but still think Rian Johnson is a good director. If I didn't, I would have missed out on Knives Out, which I really enjoyed. And I think his first one called like Brick. People keep telling me I need to see it. I'm going to try as soon as I can. But yeah, Knives Out's one of my favorite movies this year. It might be my favorite movie this year. I'm still going through the list. I knew after Looper, I knew Rian Johnson was going to be better handling his own stuff. And again, he introduced a lot of stuff I liked in The Last Jedi. The Rey Kylo stuff I loved with Luke and everything. I thought that the other side story was a little weak. But then again, I see Knives Out and I love every second of that movie. So yeah, I mean, it's okay to not like something someone did and then love something else they did. Yeah, and especially with a director, you can't expect a director to always be perfect. I know there's a lot of people out there. I almost said everyone. I know it's not everyone. Got to be careful what you say, a lot of people are, Christopher Nolan comes out with a movie and even before they see it, they think it's the best movie of the year. He's had some hits. He's had some misses. There's things, but then again, there's some things I like about some of his movies. Some things I don't. I love going back to see movies that I judged in certain ways, like total black or total white, and didn't find the gray area for it. I love going back and looking at that stuff because it's like, oh, I gained some new appreciation or less appreciation for a movie sometimes. Let's see. Where was I? Desiree says, I pretty much loathe Frozen. Jumped on me here. Sorry, I got to find it. Pretty much loathe Frozen, but even something that grinds my gears like that, I admit the animation is gorgeous. Yeah, it has its positives. A lot of people are loving the new Frozen. I wasn't a fan. I thought the music was forced. I thought the story was too much the Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is way better for me. Then again, I prefer martial arts over that kind of movie, over a movie like Frozen. but there was things to enjoy about Frozen 2. I liked Frozen 1 better. A lot of people would disagree with me on that. But anyway, it's okay. If people love Frozen 2, cool. Let's see. Paul says, going to see Rise of Skywalker this weekend. Hope it's not as bad as some people are saying. Just want to see how this story ends. Yeah, definitely check it out for yourself. You know, Again, I tried to do as spoiler free as possible. I recommend seeing it, but is it the end of the saga you're looking for? No. Does it have a lot of positives to it? Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of stuff I liked about the ending. That being said, I see a lot of things with that movie that I feel are going to be continuations. I think they set up, I'll say, at least 2 Disney Plus shows. I have a feeling we're going to get announcements for some Disney Plus shows or even a new trilogy. Um, I mean, granted, they're going to have to get really original with the story. They're not going to be able to rely on stuff from the past when it comes to plot. But I just feel maybe this is a time to get new stuff, but then use these characters we've had for 3 movies. Let's see, where was I? Bryson says there's one movie I can say sucks without seeing it. Momdo Films Christmas in New York, an Italian film animated in North Korea. I think it is mathematically impossible for it to be good. I don't even know what that one is. Excuse me. You have to forgive me. I'm starting to get the yucks again. That was my own fault. I went out and handed out Christmas goodies to the neighbors before I did this. And of course, I'm walking around in the cold. Not a good idea. Let's see. Desiree says, personal example for me about the whole fandom. I refuse to see Joker because it just isn't how I see Joker, but I ain't saying the movie is trash. I'm super confident it's a great film, just ain't for me. Exactly. Not every movie is going to be for everyone. That'd be nice if every movie is for everyone, but that's not how movies work. You know, it's just that, if you get something out of a movie, great. If you don't want to see a movie for certain reasons, like you mentioned, the Joker, that's just not how you see the Joker. It's fine, but you're not saying it sucks. There are people out there going, hashtag not my Joker. And it's just, you can't, I mean, yeah, it may not be your Joker, but without having seen it, you don't know what the film is. But if you don't want to see it because that's not how you see a character, that's cool, because you're giving a real reason other than just, I think the movie's going to suck. You're just saying the movie could be great, but it's just not your cup of tea. Daniel says, I'm back. Welcome back. Rob says, I'm not mad at Star Wars, but I just can't watch it because I don't want it in my head. Once I see it, I can't erase the memories of it. And for me, after The Last Jedi, I just can't do it again. And, I can understand that. I mean, if it made you wary of the fandom, that's okay. You definitely have that right. And I'm glad, I know you're getting enjoyment out of The Mandalorian. And there's going to be more Star Wars shows. I just know it. I see maybe 2 or 3 that they could tell from this last Star Wars movie. I see 1 or 2 that they could expand off The Mandalorian. I mean, there's definitely potential for that there. I see another trilogy. I really do. I see them doing episodes 10, 11, and 12. I really do. And I see them continuing after that. They're trying to build new legends with, these new characters. You're not going to get it out of 3 movies. You're going to need more. But I understand that if you just see it a certain way and you don't want it to be something else, I understand that. But it's just still, I'm glad you're not out there just saying it sucks, it sucks, it sucks. Because I mean, again, you hadn't seen it. So granted, I know it's not out yet, but you know what I mean. Anyway, Daniel says also, oh man, I thought Cats is going to be good. Not kidding. but is getting bad reviews. I was gonna go see it last night. They had a screening in St. Louis when I was there for Star Wars. Um, so I was gonna stay and see it, but then by the time I got out of Star Wars, it's like I want to go back and talk about Star Wars. So I'll wait and see Cats on. I think I'm seeing it on Friday. I don't think it's going to be good, and I don't think I'm going to enjoy it. But I really do hope I'm wrong. But again, nothing I've seen has told me I'm excited about this. Rob says, I just want to see Uncut Gems, as do I. More than Rise, and for me, to see an Adam Sandler movie again is huge. Yeah, I like it when he tries serious stuff because, I mean, when he gives me something like The Ridiculous Six, drives me nuts. Um, but I love seeing it when he tries something different. And so I'm really curious about that one. I haven't seen it where it's going to show up anywhere near me anytime soon, but if it does, I'm going. I have to travel to see Bombshell. I have to go to Champaign to see Bombshell on Saturday, I think is when I'm seeing it. Um, but that's one I want to travel to see too. But yeah, Uncut Gems, if I see it's anywhere, I'm going to go see it if it's close enough. Excuse me. Daniel says, also thoughts that Playboy only made $650,000 opening weekend over 2,000 theaters. I am not surprised. Actually, I should be surprised it made that much money. They tried that whole $5 movie thing. I was in there by myself. And that when I walked up to the counter, they were like, oh, it was you that bought the ticket. I don't think our theater really sold any other than for me. There may have been a kid here and there. It just wasn't a good movie. I strive to find something good about it, and I just couldn't. I could not find anything good about that movie. Um, so yeah, I'm surprised it made that much. Um, Probably the cheap ticket price is what did it. Because I know a lot of theaters are doing $5 tickets, like all showings. Um, Dale says, so far, what I've heard about The Mandalorian is that it's a great show, but very slow at some episodes. I can see that point. The speed of the show, it's definitely kind of a slow burn Western feel, and I like it. I've enjoyed the majority of that show. Love that there was a cliffhanger this episode that came out today. Rob says, if you guys are it's saying my connection's unstable, so let me know how the connection is. Um, let's see. Okay, it says I'm back. Let me know if it dipped there, if you would. I'm just curious. Uh, I mean, my internet's still up, so let's see. Where was I? A little behind here. That's not a bad problem to have. Okay, here we go. Rob says, even when I review The Mandalorian, I say 10 good things and one bad is what gets in people's head. I don't understand why it can't be good yet flawed. Some people just want their version of honesty. There's the show isn't going to be perfect, but I'm enjoying it for what it is. Even for the little imperfections, I'm just like, okay, we'll see where it goes with it. But then there's some people who are just like, it's the worst show ever. And it's just like, I don't know. What do you want then? It's not 1978 anymore, I guess. But yeah, I tried it again. It just like everything else. I try to find the good and the bad. I didn't think I was going to like the last episode of Harley Quinn. Um, but but I liked the last episode a lot. So I'm hoping that it keeps up that intelligent writing, because the last episode had some really good writing, some really good jokes. Um, let's see. Paul Green says 8 Crazy Nights is one of Adam Sandler's funniest movies. Yeah, it was a good one. I mean, I still love The Wedding Singer. I like Happy Gilmore. Um, a lot of people like Billy Madison. I wasn't really a fan. Um, I get why people like it though. And then some of the other movies, there's some that I actually kind of liked at the time, but then you go back and watch it again and it's terrible. Um, I mean, Adam Sandler is. There's times he's still trying to make movies like he was just fresh off of SNL, and they just don't really work anymore. Um, let's see, where was I? Um, Desiree says, I have a soft spot for Waterboy, but I'm entirely biased because Fairuza Balk is in and I adore her. Yeah, she was really funny in that. I had a few issues with the Waterboy. I thought it was funny. I hated the ending where they introduced the dad. I didn't like that. I mean, the dad, they almost made him like a joke out of the fact that he was like special needs. He just came out acting, uh, I don't know, I don't like the term, but I do reference it because it does make a lot of sense from Tropic Thunder. He went full R, and I hated that. I understood Bobby Boucher was a little slow, but when they introduced the dad, they made fun of the fact that he was special needs, and that even before I had a special needs son, that stuff drove me nuts. I have a cousin who's a year older, he's like a year older than me, I think, that has special needs. I just don't like that stuff being made fun of. Again, you're allowed to make fun of whatever you want in a movie. Doesn't mean I gotta like it. But I did like a lot of that movie. Um, let's see. Let's see. Daniel says, "Do I think Cats will be more scarier than the new Black Christmas?" Yes, because the new Black Christmas was not scary at all. So all Cats has to do is frighten me once, which I'm sure the first frame of that movie probably will. So yeah, it's definitely probably more scary than the new Black Christmas. New Black Christmas. You haven't seen my review for that. Yeah, that movie for its own detriment, it ruined itself. And it wasn't even that interesting or scary. It had some good moments in it. I will say, if you see the review, I do admit that it had good moments, but it definitely failed miserably. Let's see. Paul says, was there ever a movie that made you want to walk out of it? Because it was my second time seeing it, and I'm getting an unstable connection again, so that's fun. So again, just let me know how things are going. Don't know why I'm getting unstable connections because my internet says it's strong. So, yeah, there was a few. The Resident Evil one, I can't remember which one it was. There's so many of them; they all run together for me now. It was my second time seeing it because I fell asleep the first time. Um, and when I got to the point that I remembered everything else, I'm like, I'm out of here. So yeah, I walked out of that one, but I was just finishing the movie, and then I didn't want to see the rest because the rest of it I knew was terrible. I wanted to walk out. There was a Jack Black movie. I can't remember what it's called. It's like called D Train or something like that. I wanted to walk out of that one. I wanted to walk out of Playmobil. I really did. I was in the theater by myself, talking to myself, just saying, please end. And kind of pacing the theater. So I know there's more, but I've never walked out because again, I gotta give it my full opinion. I can't see half a movie and then say, well, this movie was terrible, but you didn't watch the whole thing, you know? Oh, we got it. Congratulations, Daniel. You're the first one to get a message hidden. We'll show it here. Let's see. Bombshell got a 61 Rotten Tomatoes. Spies in Disguise got an 81. That one's going to surprise me. And Little Women got a 97 in Rotten Tomatoes. The Little Women one, I know I'm going to mispronounce her name. It's Saoirse Ronan. I know she has a song on SNL that's hilarious on how to pronounce her name. And every time I do one of her movies, I have to go back and watch that video. It's either Shorsa or Sorsha or something like that. I can't remember how to pronounce her name, and I feel bad that I can never do it. And I haven't gone back and watched the video. I'm tired of her doing movies like that. Like these big epic. It reminds me of Keira Knightley there for a while, that's all she did was period pieces. And that's what she seems to be doing now too. I want to see her do some different stuff. And I know it's not all period pieces, but some of them are just a few, like a decade or two old or whatever when it comes to where the movie's set. I want to see her try something different though. I really do. I don't know. I don't know if I'll even get to see that one, if it'll even come around here. Spies in Disguise, of course, will come out around here. None of the trailers look good to me. Anytime they show Will Smith as a human, in that it's like, okay, that might be a cool movie. Then they show him as a bird. I'm like, this is going to be dumb. Hopefully it's fun though. I really do. And Bombshell, I'm not surprised that it's, uh, should I say, fair and balanced. I'm looking forward to that one. The thumbnail I created for that one, I really enjoyed because uh, I had to the picture you see behind my avatar, I had to actually create the picture. It's not just a picture I found and put myself in front of it. It was um, I had to make the elevator door or make the elevator walls around the door and have the three ladies inside the elevator and everything. And I was pretty proud of that thumbnail. So whenever you get to see it, I'm seeing it again Saturday. So hopefully I'll have my review up either Saturday night or Sunday. Um, Bill says thoughts on Wonder Woman 84 trailer. I liked it, and I really did. Um, I'm curious how Kristen Wiig's going to be as Cheetah, but um, I don't know. I dug the trailer. I'm wondering how they're going to bring what's his name, Steve Trevor back. I think that's his name, right? I think they're looking for a way to. I don't think they planned on bringing him back, but now that they're kind of retconning the Justice League stuff, I think they needed, that character, so they're finding a way to bring him back. Um, so I'm curious how they're going to do that. But I was a big fan. I like the music. Definitely going for that 80s feel. So yeah, I liked it. Daniel says my local theater only played Playmobil for 1 week because they only sold one ticket to that week, which that ticket was me. Exactly. I swear I was the only one that saw it at ours, but I can't be positive about that. But they definitely said, whenever when I went there, it's like, oh, it's you. Um, and I was seeing it at like 7 at night. I was going to go to the early show, but couldn't. And I saw it like 7 at night. Uh, or was it the when I seen it? I just know that there was nobody else there. And I don't think they sold anymore. If they did, I'd be surprised. Desiree says your voice gets staticky once in a while. Okay. I can deal with staticky. I just don't want the video to go away. Daniel says, I went to the 3:45 showing of Playmobil opening day, not Thursday night shows. And they said that I'm the first person who bought it or brought a ticket, and the last after I asked him a week later when I left and when it left. Yeah, I'm not surprised it didn't do good. Not at all. Bryce says Underwater, just a remake of The Abyss with Kristen Stewart in it. I don't think so. The Abyss The Abyss was more in the end like a positive movie. I think Underwater is just going to be like underwater horror movie. I don't see it having a positive outcome like The Abyss did. Um, I am curious about that one though. I'm hoping it's good. Then again, maybe one movie January, of course, is where movies go to die. They try to trick you when they throw uh, like an Us in January, February time. Um, let's see. Where was I? Um, Daniel says, since you were the only one in the theater for Playmobil, did you scream at the movie when a cringe pop song shows up randomly? Because yes, um, I found myself talking out loud, and I didn't care. I don't remember everything I said, but anytime a pop song came up, I mean, all the songs in that movie sounded the same to me. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to be like a Trolls or a Lego movie, and it was just that movie shouldn't even have made DVD. Um, yeah, all the songs and everything just were so mind numbing, and yeah, anytime a new song popped up, I was not happy. Um, Daniel says, I thought Black Christmas was just meh, but it did have some moments, especially the Up in the Frat House song the girls sang. Yeah, that was my favorite part of the movie when they sang that song. That's when I thought the movie was going to be good because they were, they had some smart stuff like that. But then, they started throwing in some of the other stuff, like the men are always wrong stuff, even if they wanted to just have a discussion. And that movie got ruined for me. Yeah, I did love that song though. I was like, oh, maybe this is gonna be good, and then it just failed miserably. But yeah, that Up in the Frat House song was I loved the whole middle finger to the frat whenever they did that. I thought it was hilarious. Um Let's see. Bryce says The Turning. Everything so far screams mediocre horror film to me, but I like Finn Wolfhard, so I'll give it a shot. Yeah, I'm afraid of that one too. Every time I see it, it's like, oh, we're just, he's in this because he's been in other successful horror movies, and I hate seeing that for him. Yeah, that one doesn't look amazing to me or anything. I hope I'm wrong though. Um, Desiree says, I love the hell out of The Mandalorian. I'm finding an odd enjoyment about the whole kid and his super badass dad. Yeah, that's just it. I love that there's a story behind The Mandalorian where he's he's got this dark past and this child is the one that's bringing the good out of him. I do love that. And plus, he's not going to be less of a, you know, awesome fighter because he's being a good guy now. I'm waiting to see when this past finally catches up with him though. Rob says, I walked out of Stargate and Wedding Crashers. I stand by walking out of Stargate, but I don't know what I was thinking about Wedding Crashers. Oh, and Alone in the Dark, I walked out of that one. Yui Bull mess. Man, yeah, most of his movies aren't very good. But man, there's a few of his movies that I actually thought had decent commentary. It wasn't great commentary. I remember seeing the first two Rampage movies, and no, they're not good movies. But I thought the commentary was okay. I haven't gone back and watched them for years though. So I mean, there's definitely I definitely may change my mind on some of that stuff or find stuff, again, seeing the middle ground there. But I remember when I saw it, I remember thinking this isn't as bad as everyone thinks it is. I When it comes to Yui Bull, uh, what was I didn't hate his Postal because it was supposed to be ridiculous and stupid. Then again, I'm not going to say he's a good filmmaker. That being said, I want to see that documentary about him. I'm really curious about that. I'm definitely going to check that out sometime. Because it's there's people out there saying the reason he's making money is for like tax breaks and stuff. I'm really curious to see what people I want to see how this documentary portrays him. I'm just really curious. I find him to be an interesting guy. I don't know why. Maybe because he's just so brash, and I think he knows he's not very good. And I'm just curious. I would love to sit down and talk to him. I really would. But do I think most of his movies are any good? No, I think most of them are really bad. And I do support you walking out alone in the dark. Daniel says, plus I saw Black Christmas on Friday the 13th at 7:30 p.m. and the room was almost half full and no one makes a noise during that movie. I was expecting Bye Bye Man audience that Brad got. Yeah, I remember he had a pretty lively audience if I remember for Bye Bye Man. Yeah, I think there was only a few people at my showing, I think. I don't remember being a lot of it. There are a lot of people in there. And really there wasn't. Yeah, there was like 3 girls up front, I think. 2 or 3 girls and then maybe another couple or something in there when I was in there. And yeah, there wasn't, I mean, they were talking through it a lot, so that was kind of annoying, but uh there wasn't any reactions to the movie, especially from me, other than maybe a few groans here and there. Um, Rob says, I feel like as long as Wonder Woman embraces its comic book roots and just goes for it like Aquaman, it will at the very least be a lot of fun. Oh, and not sure about Wig as Cheetah. I'm just curious. I really am. I'd like to see her. I want to see her do something like that. She's a lot better actress, I think, than people give her credit for. What's funny is I don't find her that funny. I mean, I've liked her and stuff on SNL and all that. She's done stuff I've liked, but like the Skeleton Twins, I'd rather watch her in something like that because she was fantastic in that. But I am curious about her being Cheetah. Paul says Black Christmas 2019 made me want to walk out, but I stayed and watch angry. Yeah, it was not a good movie. Daniel says, have I seen Richard Jewell? Yes, I just haven't had a chance to review it. Um, I was invested to the end of that movie, I'll just say. But there was also there were some of the characters that came off very cartoony. Um, because I don't know, he seemed to have the best grasp on uh, how do I put this? The best grasp on the situation, I guess, because even though, I mean, yes, his character is supposedly based on somebody, I think he's more of a composite character. Um, so, and also Sam Rockwell's pretty good in it as well. Don't get me wrong. Um, I really like Sam Rockwell in it as well, but um, like some of the other characters came off as kind of cartoony, but John Hamm's character, definitely, it almost made it feel like a revenge plot for his character, even though he's not really, he's based on like two or three people all put together, I think. I do plan on reviewing it. I just haven't had a chance to get to it. Um, Daniel says thoughts on America trailers for Playmobil are lies and misleading. Yeah, they definitely make it feel like it was supposed to be about the secret agent character. Definitely misleading. Daniel says, Paul, I feel your pain when I watch Dora in theaters. Rob says the Fanatic just arrived on Amazon Prime. Oh, cool! I'm going to watch it. For those who want it, want a so bad it's a good movie to watch. Thank you. I didn't know it popped up on there. I definitely want to see it. Let's see. Desiree says you really should see the OG Black Christmas. That's what I hear. It'd make you scratch your head how they went from that to this current mess. Went from remake to a remake of a remake, totally ignoring the original. Yeah, that's what I keep hearing is that the original's good. Bryson says, have you seen the Call of the Wilds trailer, a dog movie? Yeah, starring Harrison Ford by director of How to Train Your Dragon. I don't know what to think of that movie. I wanted to like the trailer, but anytime the dog looks fake, anytime it makes a facial expression that a cartoon dog would make, it took me out of it. I'm curious about it though. But yeah, I've seen that trailer plenty of times in front of movies now. Dale says, do you think 2019 is a disappointing year for animated films for yourself? I'd have to look at the list, but I didn't remember liking a ton of them this year. So I could probably say, yeah, it's probably disappointing. If you guys got anything else you want to talk about, definitely throw it in there. I know we got a late start. But that being said, I have to go back to work tomorrow. Unfortunately, my vacation is over. At least I get to spend the end of my vacation with you guys. So yeah, it's back to work for 2 days and then I'm off again. Uh, I know those 2 days are not going to be fun. But yeah, if you got anything else you want to talk about, definitely get in the chat and we'll talk about it. Other than that, we're probably going to wrap up here in a bit. Let's see. Rob says, even the Glenn Morgan directed Black Christmas, as imperfect as it was, at least could be seen as scary, even fun, scary. Exactly. I like it. A movie doesn't have to be amazing to be fun. But this one, there was nothing in it. Even the jump scares they do nothing. And usually, even a movie full of jump scares will at least get you once, right? This one, I'm just sitting there going, no, didn't get me. And then one of the jump scares just made me laugh so much. I couldn't help it because it reminded me of the second Alien versus Predator movie, or Predator versus Alien. I guess AVP. Okay, it's Alien versus Predator. It reminded me of that scene when the when the girlfriend ran around the corner and just eats the weapon from the pred alien, like, and just pinned up against the wall. I remember in the theater, I lost it. And the people are looking at me like I'm the biggest jerk. It's like, you can't tell me that isn't funny. But then, so there's a moment in this new Black Christmas where the boyfriend that just wanted to have a beer and actually have a discussion about how not all men are bad eats an arrow to the face. And it's just, I lost it. It was funny. It's supposed to be a shocking moment, and I'm just like, meh, it's funny. So yeah, it's a movie doesn't have to be amazing to be fun, and this one just was nothing. It was nothing. Let's see. Paul says, hope Wonder Woman 84 has some good fight scenes with her and Cheetah Hope this movie not cashing in on the whole 80s thing. Oh, it's going to cash in a little bit. They're definitely going to have that. Oh, kind of like how Captain Marvel did. You're going to see 80s stuff, right? Whatever. Like when Captain Marvel crashes into the blockbuster kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's definitely going to have 80s stuff. Let's see. Daniel says there was Lego Movie 2. Was disappointed by that. Dragon 3, I like that one. Wonder Park, didn't like. Missing Link, wasn't a fan of. Ugly Dolls, definitely not a fan of. Pets 2, meh. Toy Story 4, I liked it. Angry Birds 2, I'm a little back and forth on that one. Abominable, thought that one was okay. Addams Family, disappointed. Arctic Dogs, didn't see. Frozen 2, definitely disappointed. Playmobil, hated. And Spies in the Skies, have not seen yet. So, yeah, I'd say it's definitely a disappointing year for animation for me. Also, Lion King remake does not count as animated. Kind of. I didn't think it was as terrible. I definitely would rather watch the cartoon every day of the week and twice on Sunday, as they say. Let's see. And it definitely was soulless in some parts. Let's see. Bryson says, I hope The Gentleman is Richie back to his roots. I just want a good, fun British gangster film. Yeah, I love the trailer for that. I'm looking all over to find that, like a screening of that, because I'm hoping if I can go, I'm going to see that one. I love the trailer. Desiree says Google Stadia needs to just take a knee. Tired of seeing its ads. Ain't no one interested in it. They're desperate, and it's so dang sad. Oh, that gaming network of theirs or whatever it is. Yeah, there for a while they had commercials all over the place, and I'm just like, I don't want this. I mean, I don't even. I've resisted buying a console since the Xbox 360. We finally got a Wii a year ago or whatever it was. It's just I resisted an Xbox One. I resisted the last PlayStation. I mean, I use Steam, and how often do I play a new game? That the John Wick game was the last new game I've played in forever. Bryce says Fantasy Island is a horror movie. At least it's by a great horror director of Truth. At least it's by the great horror director of Truth or Dare. How can it possibly be bad? Yeah, the trailer for that looks like it's like they're trying to turn Fantasy Island into Saw. Desiree says, I hate the whole girl power men suck thing. It reminds me this Lifetime movie of a real life couple. I would imagine the dude was the villain. That one. Dale says my anticipated anime films 2020 is Onward. Hopefully good. I mean, the Scoob one bothers me a little bit because it's not going to have the voice cast, but hopefully, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like someone else is going to do it sometime, and again, I'm going to take Hollywood how they give it to me. So I'm looking forward